Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. We are so excited to have this info session with Zepeto. But before we get into the details, I wanted to quickly introduce myself and the IGDA, just in case it's the first time you happen to be stumbling upon the IGDA's webinars. First of all, I hope everyone is doing well today. And before we get started, I just want to quickly remind everyone that this is being recorded so that we can post it later and share the wonderful information that is gleaned from today's insights. For participants, you're welcome to have your camera on, but please do ensure you mute your mic to avoid any excess noise entering the webinar. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, or if you're a viewer of the stream, please submit those questions to us. We're happy to ask them at the very end. So without further ado, let's get started. My name is Dr. Jakin Vela, and I'm the Executive Director of the International Game Developers Association, the IGDA. The IGDA is the largest nonprofit member-based professional association for game developers. Our mission is to support and empower game developers all around the world in achieving fulfilling and sustainable careers. We do so by connecting you to a global network of industry professionals, providing access to unique membership benefits, such as events and opportunities, facilitating mentorship and career development experiences, creating and distributing educational resources, and building solidarity among a global community of game developers through IGDA chapters and special interest groups. We are so excited to present to you today our IGDA partner, Zepeto and AngelHack. As you may know, the Zepeto World Jam Fall 2023 just launched on the 30th of October, and this is an amazing opportunity for developers worldwide to pioneer the future of multiplayer experiences on the Zepeto platform. After all, who wouldn't want the opportunity to explore a growing community and to have your personal and awesome creations reach millions of enthusiastic users and players? In this webinar, the Zepeto team will introduce themselves and the Zepeto platform and tell you a bit more about how you can participate in the Zepeto World Jam Fall 2023. As we transition to that, I'll take it to Stephanie for the introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Jekin, for the introduction. Hi, I'm Stephanie Moon here at Zepeto. I think we can go around the room and introduce ourselves. So very brief introduction of myself. I work with various partners and community events here at Zepeto, trying to build a better and engaging community for developers on Zepeto. Abba?
Thanks, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. I'm Abba, and I'm spearheading community efforts here at Zepeto. So if you see us hosting any events, coming up with anything in the community side, that's me and Stephanie. So nice to meet you all.
Hi, my name is John. I'm a tech evangelist here at Zepeto. It's my job to kind of let you guys know about the Zepeto SDK and make it easy and accessible to everybody that's onboarding onto Zepeto.
Hi, I'm Mondul Gao. Yes, I'm also a tech evangelist here at Zepeto, and yes, I'm here to help you guys learn about how to make games on Zepeto. Carter?
Yeah, hi, I'm Carter. Like they said, I'm also a tech evangelist, and I'm here to help you guys learn how to make games on Zepeto.
Perfect. Thank you, teammates, for the introduction. So I guess now we'll dive into our webinar. So before we talk about all the fun stuff and what more details about the World Jam and what development actually is like on Zepeto, we'd like to give you guys a quick introduction to what Zepeto is. So Zepeto started in 2018 out of South Korea, and it's currently one of the biggest metaverse platforms globally. We have over 700 million total registered users with 20 million monthly active users, with our key demographics of being females in the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. We've grown tremendously, especially in the character itemization, and also slowly branching our roots into the gaming industry as well. So most people know Zepeto as, creating your avatar, making clothings, buying clothings, to create your own avatar. But of course, we're here today to talk about games. We call games on Zepeto worlds. So if you hear that word a lot, that's just us referring to our version of the game. So now I will play a quick video about how it is like as a user playing on worlds on Zepeto. Perfect. So I hope you guys had a little glimpse of what worlds look like, sorry, on Zepeto. To give you a little backstory about us, we've only implemented gaming on our platform just over 2 years ago. So it's we're pretty new to the gaming industry, which also means that you get a lot of visibility once you make worlds on Zepeto. And to give you guys a little glimpse of how our worlds are doing on Zepeto, one of our most popular worlds, it's called Jump Master. It was one of the first worlds that were launched on Zepeto, and to this day, we have over 300 million total visits and 1.5 million monthly active users. Another example we have is one of our hit worlds called Runway Z, made by one of our partners, Brave Turtles. To this day, we have more than 50 million visits with 1 million over monthly active users, and they were able to reach 3 million unique users that were playing this game just within 5 months of the game launch. Lastly, we have Slime Party. This was another one of the first worlds that were on our platform. This world also has somewhere close to 40 million games, and the average play time for this game is roughly around 30 minutes. So it's a pretty well-doing world, and we are continuously looking for updates and see how all of these worlds can do better with us. So yeah, that's a little bit about worlds. And to go into a little more exciting stuff, Zepeto is also known for a lot of collaborations. I'm sure you guys know a lot of collaborations that we do between K-pop industries and also some brands. So here's a quick video of this. Hope you guys were able to see one or two familiar names from our partnerships. One of the things that we also do when developers make worlds is, since all of these global brands are looking to collaborate with Zepeto, we also link you guys to these brands to hopefully create an environment and a world where you guys can both optimize the Zepeto space. So some exciting stuff. And now we will dive right into what Zepeto World Development actually is, and I'll pass the mic on to our tech evangelists.
Hi everyone, I'm Monvol Kao, and I'm the tech evangelist here at Zepeto. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about world development, also games, but it's known as worlds in Zepeto. And as Stephanie was saying, those worlds that you saw, Runway Z Slime Party, which is getting like tens of millions of users and visits, that is something you can totally make on our platform, and we're going to show you how to do it. So before we jump into how to make worlds and games on Zepeto, let's take a look at this create video real quick. Thank you for that, Stephanie. Yeah, so basically, we provided you guys with a bunch of tools that make world development on Zepeto very, very easy. And again, those worlds that you saw, the Runway Z game, which is a fashion battle game, the Slime Party game, which is an animal collecting game, both of those things you can totally make on Zepeto, and we provide you all the tools necessary to do that. And again, the greatest thing is, like Stephanie was saying, games are pretty new to Zepeto, so this is pretty new. The thing is, we have so many users. We have over 350 million users, but we don't have that many games. So this is a great opportunity. It's a blue ocean for you guys to make games and have an audience that actually can know about your games. So unlike making games on other platforms where it may be very hard to get discovered, on Zepeto, it's going to be much, much easier to get discovered with a huge audience. So let's start off by talking about the Zepeto World SDK. So what is different about the World Zepeto SDK is that unlike traditional development, where let's say you're making games for Android and iOS, so on the top of this chart, you'll see that when you do that, what you basically do is you make a game in Unity or you make a game in some other engine, Godot, Unreal. But what happens is that you'll have to actually build these to different platforms. So one is iOS, one is Android. There could be other platforms. Each process actually takes quite a bit of work to get it up and running. And for some larger teams, there's actually two teams, one that handles iOS development and one that handles Android development, and those are two separate teams. But with Zepeto, it's really great because all you have to worry about is making a game in Unity, and then you basically use our plugin, and then you can just hit release, and the game automatically works on both Android and iOS. Stephanie, could we move on to the next slide? All right, so we were talking earlier about why development in Zepeto is so streamlined and easy. And one of those reasons is because there's a very streamlined cross-platform development ecosystem available to you. So unlike other games where, for example, in this chart, you'll see that analytics, multiplayer data storage, selling products, so selling items and having leaderboards, in other systems, you might have to actually write this code from scratch, or you might have to like go to AWS, set up your own server, do certain things like that. But with Zepeto, all this stuff is actually provided with you out of the box. It's literally plug and play. The API, you can just call the API, and all these resources are available to you for you to make your game with. Could we go to the next slide? Cool. So this one, I want to just talk about how easy it is to actually test and release your world on Zepeto. So first, in the first image there on the left, you'll see that local testing. So if you want to test your game on device, literally all you have to do is hit a button, a QR code will pop up. You can scan that QR code, and basically within a minute, you're going to see your game on your phone and you can play it, test it out. So that's super, super useful and super helpful because as you know, with game development, sometimes things that work in Unity may not work on the device. So it's really good to test that out very often. The second part is if you're making a game, obviously you would like to test this with more than just yourself, but actually with a team. And nowadays, your team may not even be in the same office. They may be all around the world. So testing with your team is actually really easy. All you have to do is actually create a link and you distribute that link, and then anyone in the world can actually play that multiplayer game with you very easily. And then finally, as far as publishing, again, it's basically one step. You hit a button and you publish it, and then in a little bit, you'll just see your game actually pop up on the Zepeto app. So it's super easy to get your game published. Stephanie, could we go to the next slide? All right, one of those super cool things I think about that's cool about working with Zepeto is that when you make a game, usually like making characters, animations, all those things, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of things you have to do to actually make characters for your game. The great thing about Unity, though, is that you can load Zepeto characters onto your created map and control them from inside Unity. So it's very easy. You don't have to make your own system for this. Any avatar that you make on Zepeto or anyone else's avatar can actually show up in your game. And really, all you need to do is grab the ID, and that character will actually show in your game. So it's actually super, super easy and super cool just to see your avatar and also your friends' avatars in your game, playing your game. Let's take a look at the next slide. All right, the other cool thing about Zepeto is that it actually offers you a bunch of tools. These are not the only tools it offers, but one of the tools that's pretty useful is that you can actually have different control schemes set up for you very, very easily. So the first one on the left is you want to make some kind of like third-person kind of action-adventure game or first-person shooter kind of thing, you can use this TPS view. The second one is, let's say you're making some kind of dungeon crawler. There's a different camera setup. So in the middle there, you'll see that camera setup for the quarter view. And then finally, if you want to make something like a runner, for example, like a side scroller, you can use a side scroller controller. But these are just one of the many tools that Zepeto actually provides for you. So it's really great for developers to prototype something really quickly and also ship with this code as well. Let's take a look at the next slide. Now, the other thing that you'll also have to do when you're making games is you'll have to have art assets, for example. And if you have an artist in your team or many artists in your team, then great, they can make the assets for your game. But a lot of times with smaller teams, you may not have a dedicated artist, and that dedicated artist maybe they're working on UI or something like that. But not to fear, because with the Zepeto World SDK, you are able to get art assets from many, many different places. So one is you can fully take advantage of the Unity Asset Store. You can download those assets, so sounds, animations, art assets, environment assets. You can use the Unity Asset Store for that. And then the other part is we actually have our internal set of assets using the Zepeto asset package. And what that is a bunch of assets that Zepeto has actually made in the style of Zepeto that you can totally use for free. So as you can see here, there's things like an Asian village, there's something like a medieval house you can see in those top icons there. And then in the center there, you can see this really cool castle asset that you can totally use to prototype your game, but also ship your final game with these assets as well. And it's all pre-made for you. Let's take a look at the next slide, Stephanie. All right, for this part, I'm going to actually pass it on to my colleague, John. He's going to talk to you about how to prototype in Zepeto. John?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mondo. So yeah, I mean, development in Zepeto is basically what you're used to. It's just Unity with our Zepeto Avatar SDK. There's a lot of other things that come with that SDK. Zepeto is really strong in items and item creation. So you can take advantage of our items and sell things from there. We also have our own IWP system. So there's a lot baked into our SDK. What I want to showcase here is like maybe kind of a preview of what that development process might look like. So this is a project that we've worked on internally called Quiz Race. And basically it's a game where there's a group of participants that gather together and you have to run to the end. It's a very simple game where you just have a bunch of kind of doors and you have to run through the right one and be the first one to get to the end. So it's a very simple concept. So we took about a month or so just to develop this project. The first week, we just kind of quickly rapid prototyped the game system, the environment. It was a really rough block, very, very quickly. And it was just a quick and dirty approach just to see how well it functions, how fun it is. And we wanted to get like a working core loop out there as soon as possible. So that's what we did for the first week, just kind of quick and dirty blocking. It doesn't look super fancy or super interesting at this stage. But if we move on to the next slide, the second week, we did a visual pass. So you can already see the exact same layout. Everything is exactly the same as it is, except with the exception of like maybe some cute characters here and there that we've added. Maybe some like minor environmental things. But this was just our first visual pass of what does maybe the environment, what would the environment look like? And you can see that I have my character in Unity right now. So this is my avatar that I've set up in my Zepeto application. So like I can customize it, I can change my clothing, and I can just load it in, and then it'll just come in with all of the stuff that I've customized on my Zepeto app. So there's no additional coding or anything like that. You just can take advantage of your avatar or other people's avatar. But yeah, I mean, just the second week is just more of a visual pass that we did. There's tools like environmental fog. There's post-processing that makes things like look really, really pretty, like unique shaders that you can add. These cupcake assets are coming from our internal assets that Mondo just shared. So it's really, really easy to make a game very, very quickly. So that's what we did on the first and second week. On the fourth week, we did more, we kind of dove in a little bit more in depth and did, okay, now at this stage, we're sure that this is going to be a good game. We're going to dive in and start investing art assets into this thing. So there's a lot of custom assets that you'll see here. And we've implemented a lot of art and made things like really, really pretty and polished. So this is us diving in depth with our art, and it also has to run really, really smoothly and quickly. So there was a lot of optimizations that were done to reduce kind of the draw call, the poly count, things like that, make it run smoothly. So that's kind of the overview of what kind of development might look like in maybe within the 4-week span period, developing on Zepeto. So again, it's a lot of the process is things that you're already familiar with, what you're used to. It's just Unity. You're just taking advantage of the Zepeto SDK. So there's nothing so much different here that it's gonna kind of catch you off guard or anything like that. So yeah, it's very, very simple and easy to kind of work with. So this is just a quick demo of the gameplay of the quiz race game, and just to show it off. So you can see we have our little bunny character here. This is still kind of more or less like a video that was shot in the development stage of it. We can pick different categories, and then when the countdown is done, we'll head into the level. And then we have a bunch of NPC characters. This is using NavMesh, and they're just kind of navigating to the right answer or the wrong answer, right, based on a certain chance. Then the goal is just to get to the end, as soon as you can, right? To get to the first person, to get to the end, and if you get it wrong like that, then you get bumped back. Yeah, so a relatively simple project. This took about a month to complete. And I mean, whatever ideas that you guys have, Zepeto is a great place to explore those ideas. I mean, it's a blue ocean, Zepeto. I mean, our SDK was developed, as Stephanie mentioned, a little over 2 years ago. So there isn't as many games out there at the moment, because there hasn't been enough time for those games to populate. So take advantage of this blue ocean. There's going to be a lot more games coming out in the future, and then maybe your idea might be taken already. But this is the time to jump in. Yep. So next slide. So as Mondo mentioned, one of the biggest benefits is that you don't have to look elsewhere for a lot of your backend stuff. So like things like data storage, analytics, world product monetization, leaderboards, all of that stuff is not something that you have to kind of look elsewhere, right? You know, leaderboards, maybe if you develop for iOS or Android, you have to implement a specific SDK from the specific company that will manage leaderboards for you. Same thing with world products. That's our term for in-app purchases, IAPs. But IAPs are integrated into our platform, so you don't have to have separate kind of IDs for your Android and your iOS, and like have two separate different things. It's just one workflow, and we have all of that stuff built into our platform. Same thing with data storage. All of our data storage is free. You don't have to pay for extra storage on our platform. It's unlimited. Where at the moment it's completely unlimited. There's no restriction on how much data you can store. And same thing with analytics. You can kind of go in and you know, analyze your playtime, monetization, retention, those kind of stats. And yeah, so it's a complete package with working with Zepeto, and excited for you guys to kind of mess around with this platform. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic back over to Ava to talk about some of a really exciting event that's coming.
Hi, everyone. And as John mentioned, Zepeto right now is a blue ocean. You can literally build anything you want out there in the world. And one of the spaces and one of the things we're creating is the World Jam Fall 2023. For people who have no idea what to do or how to get started with Zepeto, the World Jam is one of the spaces that allows you to do that very quickly, right? So you can literally build anything, any genre of worlds. We have simulators, we have role play, you can build survival, shooters, any type of game you want out there. Zepeto gives you the space to actually do that. Come with your creativity, come with your ideas, come and get some support. We also have some structures and resources that could also help you to get started. We'll go a bit about that, but welcome to the World Jam Fall 2023. That happens when you're speaking too fast. Welcome everybody, and we'd love for you to join us to build something cool, creative. We want to see your creativity out there. For this year, the amazing thing is we have a theme for this particular jam, and the theme is dreams and nightmares. Whatever you can think about, once again, it's a blue ocean. You can think of anything. What does dreams and nightmares mean to you? Does dreams mean Halloween? Does dreams mean Christmas? Does Halloween mean nightmares? Whatever comes to your mind, like, play with it, right? Play with it. We'd love to see your creativity. Yeah, so the theme is dreams and nightmares, and we'd love to see what you can do with that on there. Obviously, there are amazing prizes that you could grab. We have the first prize to the fifth prize, from $10,000 to $2,000. Please listen, it is on the table for grabs. Please be a part of this jam and then grab this money. We're not keeping it. We can't even keep this money. I wish I could, but I can't. So please be a part of the jam to win all these amazing prizes. Then these are not the only prizes we have. We also have prizes for best use of theme, best play experiences, best visuals, and best technical implementation. And these are bounty prizes. So even if you don't get the first 5, there are also other opportunities for you to also, win some more money as well. So we're waiting for you at this point, really. Now, the judging criteria, part of the things we are, kind of looking at to judge the worlds and things you're building is gameplay mechanics, right? Is this world exciting for people, right? We are not the determinants of that. Other people are. So if people find it exciting, people find it fun, that's kind of what we're looking for. Creativity and originality. Is this fresh? Is this new? Like, how creative is this? How different is it from what's out there in the world, right? It could be a shooting game that people can somersault in. I don't know. I'm not that creative when it comes to games, but yes, please, you think about it. You're the originator of it. So please, design and aesthetics. How does the world look and feel? Is this something people would, want to be a part of? Is this something that people would, enjoy playing in terms of design and aesthetics? User experience, is this something that people can easily jump onto as well in terms of playtime? Adherence to theme. Remember, we spoke about the theme earlier. How close is this to the theme? How does this, make sense sense to the larger theme as well. And then we're also giving a bonus points for implementation of multiplayer. So does the world have a multiplayer component? And if so, does it work well for players? So we're trying to give you more space to win some awards. So please, we're not joking here. We want you to win as much, right? Some rules. Obviously, there is no jam without rules. Okay, it's not the Wild West here. There are some rules. Some of the main thing that we need to call out is build-it submissions are not qualified in this World Jam. I think that's really, really important. Other rules that we're going by is fresh code rule. All submitted codes must be developed during the hacking period of October 30th to December 11th, right? So if you're an OG who has been building, we don't want the OG stuff. We want them within this period, okay? No harmful code, no codes constructed with intent or likelihood of damage to or interference with programs, data, or hardware. Super important. Positive intent, hey, always do your best, right? No crude, no vulgar, no obscene languages are permitted. Rights. Submission to not violate any third party's rights is super, super important. We're not trying to hurt people here. That's not what we're about here. In eyes of law, no violating any law or regulations where submission is created or submitted to. So these are some of our rules. Nothing crazy, just telling you to be a good person. There's no room for jerks. Okay, that's what we're saying. And as we mentioned, there are other spaces and support systems that could help you to also be a part of the challenge. We just had our opening ceremony. You can go to the Zepeto for Developers website. I'm sorry, not the Zepeto for Developers YouTube channel, and you should see the opening ceremony there. And it would also be in our Discord channel as well. So you can see how cool it was. That's where we shared everything that we just spoke about. But in the next couple weeks, we also have a polishing workshop. So it's one of the spaces where our evangelists come and then they kind of talk about things and optimization tips to make your game better and to help you. They're not going to handhold, they're just giving you just general support. Okay. November 27th, we have a submission guide workshop. So we're going to go through the submission guide and help you to actually fully submit your world ready for judging. December 11th is the submission deadline. So we'd love to see your game by December 11th. We're not opening it up to December 12th or 13th. It really is December 11th. That's the cutoff point. And then January 4, 2024 is our closing ceremony where we announce the winners of this fall jam. So these are the dates to look out for. And once again, it will be on our Discord channel as well, where you can ask questions, connect with other people, vibe with other people, build a world together as well. We also have a couple of other resources. We have the participant guide, and the evangelist will tell you this should be your best friend as you're building. It has all the questions. It has all the answers for all the questions you may have. So please go to the participants guide and it would really, really help you in your journey. We also have weekly Q&A sessions as well, where you can ask questions, anything you may have, any questions, concerns you may have. We also have the Discord channel where you can connect with other participants as well. And then we also have mentor sessions where you can connect one-on-one with, mentors, people who can give a little advice. Again, they're not going to help you build your world. They're just there to help, support you with any answers and guides as you're building, just as a tip here and there. So we're trying to keep you in the game and in the challenge. So these are some of the things we have going on as well in there. I think that's most of it, right? Yeah, I think we would leave, we'll drop a link for our Discord channel so that you can be a part of it. You can connect with us, any of us on our Discord channel. You can have a conversation with us. We'd be more than happy to help and support you as well. So thank you once again, and I'll give it back to Dr. Jackin.
I'm actually going to jump in. This is Natalie from the IGDA. As Jacob is tied up with some technical stuff. Thank you so much for this. This is amazing. If you don't mind, there are a couple of questions that we have that we'd love for your team to answer, if that's okay. Most of it's revolving around the game jam, which looks fantastic, by the way. So first off, are there regional restrictions for participation?
Yes, we actually do have a few countries that we restrict. Those countries will be listed in the registration form itself once you go into the ZepetoWorldGem.com website.
Fantastic. And then on December 11th, is it an end of, what's the time deadline? Like how close to midnight? What time zone are we working with here?
Right, so the deadline for it will be December 11th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So yes, most of the times are all in Eastern time. So keep in mind if you have any events, they're all in Eastern time.
Perfect. Really good to know. And then, yeah, if you're able to share with us the link to your Discord, I think that's going to be the best way to get everybody over there and engaged. But, oh, I might have one other question coming through for you all. But how can people find out more information about the upcoming workshop or workshops?
Right, so this workshop is specifically for the Zepeto World in Fall 2023. So to get up to most updated emails or any notifications of it, please do register.
Okay.
Once you register, you'll be in our roster where we'll send out occasional emails and notifications for calendar as well. So I'd say go to our website for the World Gem website and register.
Perfect. And for anybody watching this video after the fact, we will have all of those pieces. We'll have the links to the Discord to register into all of this fun stuff. And the program, the guide for participants, that was also really helpful. We'll have all that in the information section below so people have an easy way of accessing it. I believe that's all the questions we have for right now, but thank you so much for showcasing this. This is really exciting. The Game Jam has some amazing prizes. Oh my goodness. And that is very exciting and fantastic. So thank you guys for coming here today to share this with us.
Thank you, IGDA, for having us. Yeah, excited to see if we'll get some World Gem submissions from our IGDA webinar.
Yeah. I look
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Perfect. And I think we can end things off there. Thank you everybody for being part of this today, staying tuned. And for anybody watching the video afterwards, looking forward to seeing what you create.